the time to do it.
Jeremy, the troops, the military leaders, they don't always agree with the decisions of any given administration. They're not always on the same page. Is this different?
I think it's different in the sense that you're starting to hear from some of the service members. You know, one of the great things about the U.S. and our military is that we operate regardless of the commander-in-chief. Whoever it is, the U.S. military serves and serves proudly. It's a nonpartisan organization, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So I think they pride themselves on not talking about politics, not talking about policy.
That's why James Mattis won't come out and say anything negative about this president. He says it's not his place.
Exactly. And I think the service members up and down the chain of command, not just from your four-star generals, but all the way down to the most junior personnel, try to maintain that, because that's what instills good order and discipline, frankly, within our military. That said, I think you are starting to hear some reactions, and I think Richard put it well, and that's, I think, because when you serve alongside fellow service members who are fighting and dying with you, who are there protecting you day in, day out, they're standing watch when you're sleeping, you form a very strong bond with these people, and when you unexpectedly are told stand down, leave them to fend for yourselves, that can be very difficult to handle.
This president campaigned on being great for the military, adding funding to the military, being there for them. Here's what he said yesterday about what happens when remains are flown into Dover, and I just would like to play it for our viewers, get your reaction.
I go to Dover when I can, but it's so devastating for the parents. I see people that were smiling, oh, Mr. President, thank you for being here, thank you for being here, and I think they're doing great. And then 20 minutes later, we'll be outside when that big plane pulls up and that door comes down, and they are walking the coffin with their boy inside this coffin with an American flag over the top. And they're walking that coffin down this ramp. And I've seen people that I thought were really incredible, the way they were. I didn't even understood how they could take it so well. Scream like I've never seen anything before.
Some people are questioning, they're uncomfortable with the president and the way he described that.
Well, I think this might be a unique take, but I think he's describing it accurately. And I think there's something to be said about talking about the reality of what it means when we send service members overseas to fight and potentially die in these combats, in these combat operations. That said, I would step back again and say, are we always talking about it? And I don't think we are. And I think that's maybe one of the bigger takeaways of this. You know, the president has talked about pulling out of Syria 6 months ago. So this isn't a new thing. What I would like to see maybe come from this is a bigger conversation nationally amongst the administration, amongst members of Congress, to talk about, frankly, the deployments that we're sending our service members on. And they should take into account the fact that people may die when they are sent overseas. And that should play a calculus, I think, in developing and executing our foreign policy. It maybe shouldn't result in a tactical decision about what we do, but it should be part of the conversation.
Jeremy Butler. Jeremy, thank you so much for being here. And